Hello and welcome to the EPRI Current. I'm your host, Samantha Gilman, and today we'll be talking about a pretty neat project coming out of Europe called AI Effect. I'm joined by 3 AI experts from across the pond over in Europe to talk about this project, but also how AI can be implemented, how it's being used with organizations, DSOs, and also a little bit of an academic point of view on this one with one of our guests. So without further ado, today I am joined by Johanna Furwick. She's an assistant professor at the Technical University of Denmark. I'm joined by Gianluca Lipari from EPRI, and then Massimo Bolognesi, an engineer at Enel. Thanks to the 3 of you for joining me today. And before we get into the nitty-gritty of Enel Effect and how AI can be used in the sector, let me turn it over to you 3 real quick to just give us a little background on who you are, what you do, why you're in this sector, what excites you about AI. So first, Johanna, tell us a little bit about what you do.
Yes, sure. Thanks for the introduction. I got quite excited about AI and power systems a couple of years back when I realized that there's quite some potential to solve problems that cannot conventionally be solved. This was my main motivation to join the field. And then I was very excited to be part of this project to now try to get some of the algorithms that we're developing over to industry and test them in more real-world settings than we have available here.
Excellent. Gianluca, tell us a little bit about what you do at EPRI.
Yes. First of all, thanks a lot for the introduction, and the pronunciation of my name was perfect. Yes, I'm actually more a newcomer into AI, more than Joanna for sure. In EPRI, I'm responsible for the European projects. That's why I'm involved in AI Effect. And I see a lot of AI popping up in all the activities we do. So that was the perfect time for AI Effect to start. And we have a lot of nice ideas and expectations for the project. And what I do in the project especially is the coordination. So I'm dealing with let's say the boring stuff, the nice stuff, the interesting stuff is coming from our partners. We have a wonderful group. But I'm really excited today to be presenting the project and give some hints on what we're going to do.
And Massimo, tell us a little bit about you.
I'm an electrical engineer. I have been working in electrical distribution for more than 30 years. And in the last 5 years, I developed software to do electrical calculation on the grid itself. And I'm very exciting to work with AI because I've seen that AI go to increase dramatically speed of calculation and the power of elaboration itself.
Excellent. So let's set the stage for our listeners on AI and how it's being used. We hear in the news constantly about how the use of AI is increasing in all these different applications. We hear about the energy load that it's going to demand to run all these processes. We hear about all the different use cases from the power sector through every sector. Really, it's top of mind for everybody. And just a couple weeks ago, I was speaking to some other of your European counterparts about how it's being used in terms of innovation. So, Gianluca, can you give us a quick foundation for the current landscape of how it can be applied in the energy sector in Europe?
Yeah, sure. As you said, AI is a buzzword that we hear every moment. It's in so many aspects of our lives, including the energy sector. If I think about what type of applications or how it's impacting the energy sector, I can think about efficiency, first of all. So AI tools are being developed and already used in some cases, for example, for the integration of renewables, for the management of the grids, but also for the maintenance. So predicting failures or see the how the grid is working and how efficient it is in this respect. That's one important aspect. In general, we hear about the smart grids, and I think AI it's meant for that, because it's intelligence. When you think about the smart grid, that's a crucial part of it. So all the applications that go into the management of all the aspects of energy, the generation, distribution, also with respect to the customers, for example, having tools for having the customer being active or being guided in performing or using the electricity in a more efficient way. It's very exciting, and all these aspects can be improved or have a different approach when using AI tools, and that's very, very much happening right now, and we see there is a lot of potential for applications in this field.
Absolutely. Johanna, I'm interested from your point of view, what's the academic perspective of how these AI applications and tools can be used for the energy systems domain?
So we are very much looking into applying these type of algorithms and also developing the algorithms for safety critical applications. So in the past, I think where we have a lot of implementations currently, it's for forecasting or for scheduling maintenance, which is not interfering as much in the day-to-day operation of the system. So we are also looking a lot at tools that help manage the complexity of the system and day-to-day operation. If you think about it, we're having more and more renewables in the system. We're having more flexible resources with PVs and batteries and electric vehicles. So all of these offer some flexibility that needs to be managed, and that translates to mathematical complexity. Which is traditionally hard to solve, but we can actually use different AI tools to help manage that and help decision-making processes. So we're looking into developing AI tools for that, but not just stop there, because we also need to trust that the decision is a good decision. So what we do also a lot in our group here is trying to formulate mathematical guarantees to see how well our algorithms performing and can we trust them, which is then also a cornerstone of the AI Effect project.
It's funny you mentioned that trust aspect. Just for me, I use Copilot almost every day, and it can be very confident in its wrong answers. So there's very much for my, I am not doing mathematical anything on my Copilot or anything with codes. Mine's very much words. But you have to very much check it at this point. And you make a good point. In the future, how can it succeed without that double check? So with that, Massimo, can you tell us what you see as some of the key benefits or perhaps some of the challenges of integrating AI into the energy sector, most specifically a distribution system operator?
Yes. First of all, also for an engineer point of view, is still important to understand because why AI suggests one solution rather than another. So this is the main goal. But AI has become more and more integrated into business processes of company that understood the importance of being ready and responsive to technological revolution, and AI is definitely one of them. AI can be applied across entire value chains, from energy generation to distribution, trading, and even direct customer interaction. From technology perspective, AI can be explored in all of its form: computer vision, traditional machine learning, and of course, generative AI, which is a very hot topic right now. The benefit of adopting AI tools are clear. AI helps predict and prevent faults, inefficiencies, and degradation in power grids. This improves overall performance and reliability. AI also brings practical advantage by speeding up processes that would otherwise be slow and highly manual.
And that's a lot of what we hear in these discussions about AI is just the efficiency it can bring to the system. And efficiency means save time. So now to the AI Effect project that we're here to talk about. Gianluca, can you tell us a little bit about what drove the AI Effect project and what the main goals of it are?
Yes, I think both Joanna and Massimo hinted somehow at what are our challenges, the trust, the explainability of what AI does. And that's somehow at the core of the project, because the project is indeed meant for creating what we call a testing and experimentation facility. So place an organization where utilities, so the problem owners, as well as the solution providers, so for example AI tool developers, can come together in an environment that fosters the collaboration and be able to validate, test, understand what the solution are doing, how they can cope with the problems, for example, from the grid operators, and how they can be integrated into their system. That's what the TEF is about, what Effect is about. There is also another aspect which is relevant in Europe, but I think also globally, which is also the regulatory challenges. In Europe, we have what we call the EU AI Act, which poses some requirements, especially in high-risk environments like electrical grids, in terms of security, in terms of reliability of a solution, or adopting AI solutions, in terms of maintaining the quality, in terms of being open also of what the solution do, how they are applied, what they require in terms of data, in terms of access, for example, to sensitive information. And all these aspects need a proper methodology for being tested, validated, and certified. And that's one of the things that within Effect we want to provide to the energy sector in general. The approach is to have the TEF as an open, collaborative initiative where people, developers, can come and test their tools.
And a note to our listeners, if you're interested in more information about AI Effect, there is a link in the show notes to the EPRI Europe webpage that has information on this project, and we'll include other information there for you. So, Joanna, can you provide an overview of the use cases that are being developed under the AI Effect project?
We have quite an impressive list of use cases, but I might do my best to provide you a brief overview.
Just like the top ones,
Yes. So we have a structure of having 4 demonstrators at 4 specific locations throughout Europe. One is here in Denmark. Then there's one in Germany and the Netherlands, and then also one in Portugal. And then each of them has their unique aspect on what they want to show and what are the applications that they want to test for. So, for example, the Portuguese node is very much focused on building this integrated data space that actually provides AI vendors and developers with the data that is required for developing tools, because data is the foundation of that work. And then the goal is to make that data accessible to the developers so that they can actually come up with new solutions to make the energy systems more efficient. In the Danish node, we are very much looking into sector coupling applications. So there we're looking into, for example, how can you control district heating systems that are interconnected also with a power system. We're looking into deriving controllers that control district heating plants. One of my favorite applications there is also that we also want to look into how can you model a system without knowing the actual physics behind. This is also something that's unlocked through AI, that we can take measurements and without needing to derive physical equations, we can learn about the behavior of the model to control it better, the behavior of the system. And then we actually also, here in Denmark, we want to go into a lab testing stage. So we don't just want to do simulation testing, but we also want to test how well do these controllers that are then AI-based, how well do they operate in a real-world environment in a lab. And we're doing this in the lab because in the lab we can actually go closer to the limits, which we wouldn't be able to do in real life. And then Gianluca is here as a representative for the German node, so I guess you could also talk a bit about those use cases.
Yeah, maybe I can complement. Yes, we have two more nodes. The German one looks into renewables integration and distribution grids. So how what AI solutions can be developed for integrating or increasing the penetration of renewables in distribution grids, which is an interesting topic when thinking, for example, at Southern Europe, where production from PVs can be sometimes it's nice to have, but sometimes can be an issue. So new tools for coping with that are always beneficial. And then we have a fourth node, which is the Dutch one, which is about congestion management in transmission systems. So you can see we cover basically, I would say, the whole energy system, going from customers up to the transmission. And the idea is that with all these four use cases, we can prove the concept in different type of cases, but also build a blueprint for what a node for testing facility could be in case, or with the hope that we can extend the TEF in the future with additional nodes for new use cases across Europe.
Can I just add something for the Dutch node? I think the cool thing about the Dutch node is also that they have this control room of the future concepts. So they have a facility where they can replicate a control room with real-time dynamical simulations, and also test human in the loop, so that there's an operator who actually gets this decision support from an AI tool. I think it's a very unique testing environment that they have there, which will also be demonstrated and used for this project.
Great. Massimo, how do you see the impact of these use cases in the energy sector?
I think the impact can be very, very strong, because at this time almost all decisions are made by the responsible of operation room, and it requires some time to take it. When we are in normal operation, is not a problem. When there are a lot of faults, is very important to make the decision in a fast way. So I think this is the most important effect of AI in this use case.
And we're seeing a lot of these sort of collaborative projects around AI right now, particularly in the energy sector. I mean, just not long ago, EPRI launched the Open Power AI Consortium. We already have more than 50 companies in, and Nell is a member. And the idea of that is to bring all of these learnings and best practices, because everybody's working on this. And, you know, one energy company might have one model that's been working for them, and another has another. But being able to share them and also create, you know, domain specific LLMs. And, you know, we're also working with the folks who are processing, you know, NVIDIA, Microsoft, Oracle. So there's a lot of excitement in this area of AI. We're seeing it develop rapidly. But with that, we have neared the end of our episode. But I want to give each of you an opportunity to leave any final thoughts with our listeners, something that you want to leave with them but haven't had a chance to say yet. So Gianluca, why don't you go first?
It's very interesting that you mentioned the Open Power AI or collaborative initiatives that are being developed or popping up around the world. This tells us two things. The first one, we know it's an extremely interesting topic, good and for bad, because there is sometimes also some mistrust or unknown around AI that somehow needs to be clarified, and that's important to have initiatives like this, also like AI Effect, to be able to explain what AI is doing and how it's being used. And also, I think it's interesting because all these initiatives have at the core the collaboration between the utilities and as you said, also for example, the hyperscalers or the companies that produce, develop AI models, the academia, the research institutions. And I really believe that the only way to make an impact is to have all these different minds, different perspectives working together, bringing their own contribution and their own point of view, and assisting each other. As you said, sharing is also very important because you can see there are developments maybe a little bit in silos. In some cases, lessons learned, if they're not shared, probably it's a lost opportunity of growth for the bigger community. So that aspect also in effect, it's very relevant, and we really hope that in the course of the project we can increase the number of people that are interested in that, and also that want to collaborate with the project, especially in the later stage. We want to open what we are doing to externals, to people that are interested in testing maybe their solutions in our test. So that's also an open call for those who are interested. Stay tuned, and there will be other episodes of the podcast talking about the effect. So keep in touch.
And to our listeners, if you're interested in more about Open Power AI or AI Effect, check out the show notes. Massimo, what are your final thoughts for our listeners?
Thank you again for the invitation. I'm very interested to see the result of AI Effect project to apply consolidated AI algorithms on electric grids. So we can plan to adopt them in a short term. Also, it's very pleasure to work with experts like Johanna and Gianluca and the other guys I meet last time, and so it's I'm very lucky to work with all of them.
Excellent. Johanna, what are your final thoughts?
Yes, I'm also really liking this very collaborative environment that we have. I mean, when we have those project meetings, it's always been a lot of fun. I think I would like to emphasize just once more that what excites me really about this project is that it's not just about designing, or actually designing AI tools is not the core of the project, but it's really the core is that we want to build this environment for testing them and seeing how well do they function. And I think that really is a tipping point for algorithms being used more in industry and operational decision making, aside of forecasting or generative AI that is maybe explaining tutorials or help more used like a search engine or for explanations, where we are, as I said, more interested into these operational decision making and these aspects. And if we can, with AI Effect, if we can build this testing facility and this platform and bridge that gap so that anybody can come and test their AI solutions, how well they function in a real world environment. We can help with the design of the algorithm, but then also give guarantees on how well they're performing. I think it's really building that foundation towards using AI more in the day-to-day operation in energy systems.
Well, again, thank you to Massimo, Johanna, and Gianluca for joining me today. And that's it for this episode of the EPRI Current. I'm your host, Samantha Gilman, and we'll talk to you next time. If you liked today's show, we invite you to subscribe to our podcast and feel free to share with your colleagues and friends. For more information about EPRI, please visit our website at www.epri.com. And don't forget to follow us on LinkedIn and X at EPRI News. Together, we're shaping the future of energy.